Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my tutorial video, and this guys is going to be the part 3 tutorial in your Adobe After Effects training. And guys, in today's tutorial we're going to take a look at the timeline panel that is there in Adobe After Effects. Okay, so let's get started guys. Alright guys, now before getting into the explanation of timeline of the two parts and things like that guys, okay, let me tell you guys that what exactly do you have to do in timeline, okay, and this video is strictly going to stick to that. Okay, in the next video guys we're going to talk about layers and about properties and about applying effects and all. Okay, so this video is basically only meant for explaining the timeline. Alright, okay guys, now let's get started. Now guys, see guys, what happens is Adobe After Effects CS6 guys is a very powerful software for creating lovely motion graphics. Okay, now I have explained this part in my first video, but guys I just want to repeat it for explaining you how that thing works in After Effects. Okay, say that you are creating an intro title, okay, for somebody or for someone, okay, and you need a video file for that. Okay, so you go arrange that, then you need some logos for for putting up the intro. You need some logos, so you sit down with Illustrator and you work with that. Okay, then you sit down with Adobe Photoshop, convert that thing to RGB of a CMYK offer, things like that. Okay, if you are good with it, you show it to the customer by the client by printing it, bring it into Photoshop, change the color profile, bring it into Adobe After Effects, or if you people are using CorelDRAW, alright, you can change it to Illustrator and then bring it to After Effects. Alright, and then guys you will sit down to put all your things together. Okay, there'll be a soundtrack, there'll be a video file, there'll be a logo file, that's an Illustrator file, there'll be some PSD files, and you basically will sit down to compile all of them together. And that's what Adobe After Effects is used for compiling your video files, for putting up some great effects into your video files, putting up some text layers into your video files and things like that. So guys, once you are through with all those, for shooting the images or for shooting those videos and for creating logos, you will import them into the project panel, which is right over here. Okay, once you, and guys, the importing part and the composition part, I've explained those two parts in my second tutorial. Okay, so just in case if you haven't watched it and skipped to my part 3, make sure that you watch the part 2 tutorial. Okay, so once you have imported things to your project panel, okay, or to After Effects, everything you have imported, okay, is gonna go and land up in the project panel. Okay, nowhere else. Okay, your composition files, your PSDs, your Illustrator files, your logo files, your video files, your MP3s, your soundtracks, etc., will always, and everything guys is gonna go and land up in the project panel. Once done with that guys, you need to bring that thing into the timeline panel. Okay, now the timeline panel, people, in Adobe After Effects is this huge and this broad thing, okay, which stretches from the left hand side of the screen to the right hand side of the screen. Okay, this huge thing with all these different red lines on my on my software, and all these different things which I've written over here: Golden Light 3, subscribe me for more, and all of them are the contents of the timeline panel. Alright, now in this video, like I said, we're going to talk about the timeline. So I'll tell you some important things that you should keep in mind when you are working, or basically those important things that you should be knowing when you will be working with the project. Okay, so understand the project and the workflow of Adobe After Effects. Alright, now one of the very important things is Adobe, like the timeline panel in Adobe After Effects is directly linked to the program monitor right over here. Okay, so whatever work you do guys, okay, you're creating a light, you're creating some 3D effects, 3D text effects, 3D text layers, or if you're creating a blank layer, you're adding some lens flare type lights or some things like that guys. Okay, you will always land up, and your things will show in this program monitor. Alright, so just remember that part. The second thing guys, when I am explaining the timeline to my people, okay, or to my students over here, what I do is I always split the timeline in two parts. Okay, first is going to be the left hand side part, and the second is the right hand side part. Now the left hand side part, people, is supposed to be the place. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and increase my timeline just to show you guys properly. Now the left hand side, people, is supposed to be the place, people, where all your different layers will get stocked up. Okay, say my different text layers are over here, right? If I hold my control key, I'll able to select them I'll be able to multiple selection. Now all different text layer guys are over here. My different like say left, right lens flares, my mask layer which I have applied to my lens, like this left layer, my background, then all my effects and things like that. So basically left hand side part is a place where all your layers get stacked up. The right hand side, people, is supposed to be the place where you need to time up your layers. Okay, say that you need to properly time them, you need to properly say that my second layer, or say my teaser style layer, is only going to last for a few frames or a few seconds. Okay, and yeah guys, speaking of frames, that reminded me of something. This thing right here over here, okay, this yellow head guys, is a very important part of the timeline. It's called the CTI, the current time indicator, like that thing just came up, the tooltip, that's called, okay, that's called the CTI, the current time indicator. Okay, if you scrub it in the timeline, okay, it will show you your as in your project that what's going on, and it will also give you a proper time recording. Okay, now if you want to realize that where is the time, okay, that like T style, where exactly do you have to see the time? Okay, that guys, that the time is visible right over here. Okay, this thing right here is, guys, is the time code. Okay, now this people is also there in Adobe Premiere Pro. If you are using that software, this thing is over here, is over there too. I think so. In Premiere Pro is going to be somewhere over here, but basically the concept is same. If you want to understand how the time code works, basically, guys, the first 0 is for the hours. Okay, it indicates the hours in your video. Second indicates the minutes. Third indicates the seconds, guys, and the fourth indicates frames. Now, if you're wondering that what are frames and how do we are supposed to calculate it, guys, remember 30 frames. Okay, basically in a normal world, or say in your normal camera, 30 frames is equal to a second. Okay, but some very HD cameras, some cameras are able to shoot frames at 24 frames. Okay, they're able to shoot like that. So that time 24 frames will make up a second for you. All right. But basically 30 frames make up a second in Adobe After Effects, right? And this thing is very important because time, people, is very important for a video editor, okay? Because say that you need to land up on a very particular shot, okay? And you want to do some editing in it, say there's some color problem and you want to do some color changes, or you want to hide that part using mask, or you're using a layer 2 or something. So time code will be really, really important for you people, okay? Now the very good thing about the time code is that we can actually input our own numbers and our own time on which you want to land. So for doing that, guys, you can just go and click on it, and you can see that you can actually now input the time. And if you guys are getting worried that you need to put all those commas and that that kind of thing, don't need to worry about that, guys. Say that I want to jump on 2 seconds and 12 frames. What I'll do is I'll put 2 and 12 starts for my 12 frames. That is 1, 2. And if I click enter, you'll see that I automatically land on 2 seconds and 12 frames. So that's like a very important thing, guys. Okay. Now, since you guys are on the way of becoming professionals, I'm sorry for making my video, my After Effects videos a little late. I'm really sorry about that. But I'll try to keep up uploading as much as I can, as soon as I can for you people. Alright. And I think, guys, that's pretty much it in the timeline panel. Just remember, guys, that the left hand side is the place where you need to stack up all your layers. Okay, you need to properly time them, and guys, always get into this habit of naming layers. Okay, that's a very important thing. And in the next video, guys, we're going to take a look at some of the techniques that will get your workflow speeded up in Adobe After Effects. Okay, so thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll upload After Effects tutorials much more. Alright, and thank you for watching my video, guys. Please subscribe and like this video. Thank you.